Good morning, viewers. Today we have Mr. Hardesh Chaujar, Senior Director Marketing, R&D and Exports, Faber India. Welcome, Mr. Chaujar, to our show. We would like to know about Faber India.
Faber in India operates with two distinct brands, Franke and Faber. So Franke primarily is in the business of sinks and taps, kitchen sinks and taps, whereas Faber is primarily into kitchen equipment, kitchen electrical equipment. Just to give you a sense of the Faber business specifically, so Faber is a brand. So Faber is a brand which was founded by a professor in Italy. So he was actually the inventor of the kitchen chimney. He invented the product and then he created a company to start supplying this product to various brands and so on. So as a company, we were essentially rooted in the OEM concept, which means that we were a very big OEM to all the big brands that you can think of. So that's how we had historically grown. So and even today, almost 50% of our turnover on Faber globally comes from the OEM business.
Oh.
So as a brand, as a consumer brand, we possibly sell in not more than 12 countries. In each of the countries where we sell, we are the market leaders. India, so we have been in the country for more than 22 years now.
22 years?
Yeah. So started out as a seller of chimneys primarily because that's a global legacy. That's how we are known. But over the years, we have added a lot of product lines, and now we actually sell almost everything that's to do with the kitchen appliances.
Okay.
We are by far the largest seller of chimneys in the country. Selling almost every 1 in 4 chimneys sold in the country are by Faber.
Just small 25% of the
almost
market.
25% of the share of chimneys. But the more interesting data point would be that that of the chimneys which have been installed in homes, we would have almost like 70% share.
Okay.
So that's primarily because till about 2011, our market share used to be in the range of 55-60%.
Okay.
So we were virtually a monopoly. There was no other brand competing with us. So by virtue of being in the country for such long and by doing this business for such a long time, we are a very strong brand. And that's how our legacy has been in this. So in 2016, when I joined the company, so to today, we have almost we have more than doubled our turnover.
Okay.
So that's point number one. Point number two was that when I joined in 2016, 2015 our net losses were in the range of almost like $4 to $5 million of negative of our negative EBIT. This year we might be closing at around $4 to $5 million of positive EBIT. Okay. So it's a swing of almost like
fantastic.
Almost $10 million. When I joined, our working capital our net working capital as a percentage of net sales was around 38% of our net sales. So today it is at 3.5% of our net sales.
Oh.
Our RONA was return on net assets used to be minus 18%. So today we are the best performing company in the globe. Our return on net asset is around 30% positive. So
huge
its business was not in good shape when I joined. Faber at that point in time was in pretty bad shape. So it was not making profit. It was making serious losses, and it had eroded its entire net worth. So it was on the verge of closure, so to say. In the last 4 years, we have been able to nurture this business back to health. If I were to give you our growth curve, so in 2016 over 2015, we were at a negative of 5% growth. In 2017 over 2016 was at a 10.8% growth. 2018 over 2017 was 21% growth. 2019 or 2018 is 35% growth.
Fantastic. What makes Faber stand out from its competitors?
Faber is different because Faber as a brand has been primarily about innovation. So So I think one of the reasons why we have been able to sustain this market position for such a long time is down to the fact that we have been pioneers in terms of bringing new technologies to the consumer. One of the reasons why we have been able to survive even when the company was not doing well was the whole consumer centricity. So a brand which is focused on solving the consumer issues typically tend to sustain businesses for a very long time. So for us, the key focus is to just go out, look at the issues with the consumer faces, and then putting in products in the market which solves it for them. That has been a critical success factor for us. If you have a strong brand, so the only two things that you need to work on. One is that you have to make sure that you are presenting a new solution, as in a new solution to a new problem, and you're doing it in a way which is not hard on the pocket. I can now sort of, from my memory, I can talk about say 20 such business cases or 30 such business cases where so starting with say maybe an Uber or say a Zomato and you look at Airbnb. So you look at business cases, all these business cases or all these businesses are rooted in just this one singular belief that, okay, this is a problem that the consumer faces and this is how I'm going to solve it. And then there is a single-minded intent behind driving that solution with the consumer. So today, for any business to be successful, it is the capability of the business to understand the problems that are faced by the consumer and how willing are they to go behind investing in making sure that the problem is addressed. So that's the singular source of competitive advantage in a world which is so connected and so hyper competitive as today. So many of those business cases flop for just one reason, that they either didn't understand the sort of the strength of the solution, or they grossly overestimated the money that the consumer is willing to pay for the solution on hand.
It was, thank you, Mr. Hardesh. It was wonderful having you with us and
Thank you for
sparing your
coming
time.
over.
Thank you.